Ms. Fox said. Please, if you have questions while I'm talking, don't wait to ask your questions. I delight in trying to answer the questions right at this time. Like you often hear, if you've got a question about something, someone else probably has the same issue as well. And I've heard a lot of these issues. I've got to tell you, we'll talk about our mediation program in a moment, but we receive dozens of calls every week. I usually get 4 to 6 to 10 calls every day, or emails, or letters, or faxes. It's incredible the amount of response that we get in our office, people who are concerned about open government issues. And we're really interested in trying to address those so that both citizens and government officials know what the law is so they can work together to make our government transparent. Anyway, I always want to begin by telling folks that I'm from the government, so I'm here to help you. And what I do, as Jen said, is I actually supervise a section which is called the Elections, Education, Governmental Services, and Judiciary section, which is a big mouthful. You'll notice nowhere in that list does it say open government. We do a lot of election law. We do a lot of education law. As a matter of fact, I thought I'd be late tonight because of ongoing issues with the DeKalb County School Board, who filed a lawsuit against a couple of my clients, the governor and the school board today. Somewhere in there, during the period when Thurbert Baker was the Attorney General of the state of Georgia, we decided to create voluntarily a new program to try to address concerns that we were getting from citizens about open government issues. Often the case that citizens really don't feel like they have a place they can go with these, and they would have to go to court, file a lawsuit if their governments were not being responsive. The current Attorney General, Sam Olens, came into office 2 years some ago, and he said that his priority was to make transparency in government work. So he picked up right where Thurbert had left off. And they're both, I work for both of them. I was actually hired by Mike Bowers. They both have taken this as a very serious concern. And I will tell you, in the January, right after he was sworn in, Sam said, we need to change Georgia's open government law so that it is clear. Because if you used to read the old open government law, you just pick it up and start reading the statute, you would have no idea what was really required. And that's before the courts got a hold of it. Court interpretations of the open government laws, which are open meetings and open records, were so far afield that you would not know what was required, what you could get, what you could do in a meeting, what documents you were entitled to see, or government officials, what your responsibilities were. So there was some effort to clarify the law. We only did the first draft. General Assembly took it from there. They put their own special magic into it. And I do, to be fair, think that they did some stuff that was good. They made some good changes. We think some stuff didn't get through that should have. Some stuff came out that should have stayed in. But they you know, that's what their role is. And they did, I think, at the end of the day, met a compromise. During the process of working on this law, we met with numerous citizens. We met with county commissioners. We met with local government, city folks. But we also met with the press and press agencies and had multiple meetings trying to work this out, as well as meeting with legislators. End of the day, Sam ran a very open shop to try to come to the new legislation, and I think we came out with a pretty good product. Bottom line, though, of this product is not to try to change, by and large, there's a few changes, not to try to change the requirements of the law, but to try to make them clear. Those changes, by the way, became effective April 17th of last year. They're the law now. Anything that goes on now, when you make a request, when you go have a meeting, the new law applies. Okay, the Attorney General does not have very much authority in Georgia law over the function of local government. In fact, that's true in most states in the United States, but it's certainly true in Georgia. I hear, in addition to open government issues, about alleged violations from cities and counties every day from citizens, sometimes outrageous alleged violations of government laws, which our office can do nothing about because we have no authority in that area. Our authority, however, was carved out through Thurber Baker and continued through Sam Olens to have something to do with open government. So we can't pursue those. Our authority is either civil or criminal. The criminal, however, is a misdemeanor. So we are not going to pursue the criminal aspects because they're so slight in terms of the sanctions we can get, and the burden is so great in trying to do it, unless we really have to. We generally are going to proceed civilly if we have to go to court. So an important change was that we can now go to court, get this to change, and get sanctions in a civil case. This was not the law before. Now we can go to court in a civil case, $1,000 for the first violation, $2,500 for each additional violation within a 12-month period. This is much more than it used to be. This actually gives the law some teeth, so we can do something about it. So let me emphasize, as I spoke about our program, our role in the AG's office is not to try to sanction if we can avoid it. We don't either have the time or the resources, after all, this is a voluntary program that we just sort of created out of whole cloth, to go out and try to sanction everybody who might violate the law. If we go to court, we represent the state. We do not represent the citizen or the organization that had its rights violated. Citizens want to go to court. They have the right to go to court. Citizens have the right to file their own lawsuits and seek their own relief for things that allegedly happened that were wrong. Our goal in the mediation program is instead to get citizens and governments to work together. And when we hear about a government that may have violated the open government laws, our contact is first going to be to that government to say, did you really do this? This is what they're saying. Here's what they claim. And if you did, can you fix it? We assume that these violations are usually in good faith, and they usually are. These are officials who don't know what their responsibilities are because the law is complex. They made a mistake. We talked to their attorney, and lo and behold, pronto it's fixed. I'll give you an example. Right now, I received a complaint about 3 or 4 days ago, end of last week, about someone who had sent a series of open records requests seeking jail logs from sheriffs. Many sheriffs. Most were very responsive. A few were not responsive. We contacted the ones who were not responsive with their counsel. Every single one of them, through their counsel, immediately said, oops, and fixed it, or is in the process of fixing it. So these officials, and you get a lot of officials, generally want to do the right thing. There are exceptions, and we've got a case going on right now with one set of officials who think knew they were doing wrong and wouldn't fix it, and we expect that we're going to have other cases that will be doing the same thing. Okay.